Why the hate on Coke Zero? It kills cravings. I've Googled every ingredients and none are harmful to the body in small regulated amounts. I feel like having a OSAD diet is totally fine. So why does some people avoid it like the plague? I see zero problems in 1 can a day, yet if I post a picture anywhere with a meal and a Coke Zero, everyone thinks it's trolling. Caramel color has been linked to cancer. In small amounts it's generally safe. That's the only ingredient I see that is generally bad. Brushing teeth to prevent teeth issues at most. No hate here. A lot of people treat keto like a strange religion. For me, I love being a filthy keto eater. Other people's opinions do not matter in any way. What works for you? Are you seeing progress? Are you healthier? Yes? Then tell others that try and control you to STFU. Drink that Coke Zero and feed their disdain of it is working for you. The zealots in the keto community are worse than the keto is bad for you eat these cookies people. Cherry Coke Zero is godlike. I don't drink it often, but I sure like it when I do. For me it's a trigger. The taste of sweet makes me crave more sweet things. So I avoid it, but I can understand that for other people it would be okay. Yeah, I agree Coke Zero is my fave Big Bev soda. PPL are so picky hating on Coke Zero but eating mouthfuls of keto manufactured cookies and breads. Doesn't make sense. Can only speak for myself, but one of the reasons I started on keto was because I wanted to get rid of the cravings altogether. Masking with stuff like Coke Zero doesn't do that for me. If it works for you, then go for it. Coke and Pepsi Zero are one of the best changes I made to my diet. Coke Zero is better than regular Coke. Even on a cheat I'm picking Zero over Reg 1010. Even over the better Mexican Coke. They make me constipated. But stevia gives me the runs. So with a careful balance of alternative sweeteners, I can stay regular. Tears of joy. You haven't lived until you've had zero sugar AW root beer. The cream soda tastes like tainted water. But the root beer is okay sign. Fuck what people say. If you want a Coke Zero, have a Coke Zero. No hate here. I've had it daily for the last 6 years and love it. The biggest recommendation I make regarding sweetened drinks is to keep it with or at least adjacent to your meal. It will have less of an impact on your glucose and insulin response that way. I love Coke Zero but sadly have noticed I am less bloated and weight seems to come off easier when I'm not drinking it. That said, there are a lot of times it's basically the only thing I drink, like 4 or 5 cans in a day. And that's likely the real reason I bloat plateau, but if I was good at moderation I probably wouldn't need keto as much lol. I read in the diabetes codebook why it's harmful but completely forgot weary. I forgot cause I don't drink Coke or any soft drinks, so I skimmed through this chapter. If you're doing keto for diabetes it's worth a read. I started keto to lose weight. And sugar addiction was one of the hardest things to beat. I think that it's a lot easier to give up sugar by just going cold turkey and losing the taste for sweet. Just switching a pop drinker to Coke Zero doesn't solve the problem. It substitutes the sweetener but not that insistent desire to have something sweet all the time. Don't get me wrong. I was very happy to have some fat bombs, keto ice cream and some sugar-free candy in my first few months. But they were rare. And when those cravings just wouldn't go away. My favorite soda has been Coke Zero. Unfortunately, it has been killing my stomach for a while now. Like I feel vaguely nauseous when and after I drink it. So I've set it aside for now. Because uneducated people see ingredients they don't recognize and they immediately assume it's unhealthy and bad. I drank it for years. I was truly addicted. I would get a 32 ounces from 7-Eleven on the way to work. Then I had to have another one after lunch to make it through the afternoon. It was probably just a caffeine issue. I think everything's fine. In moderation. I've recently discovered all the zero sodas. And use it as a treat as I am not much of a soda drinker anymore anyway. Coke Zero Cherry is too good so I can't keep it around me. However, this Thanksgiving I decided to have some Coke Zero for the second time with some zero-carb vodka so as not to feel like I was missing out. It hit the spot and I didn't feel like I had to keep drinking it all day long. Nor did it make me crave anything sweet. Anecdotally, whenever I drink a Coke Zero, I get a bad headache. Strange man shrugging. Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper Zero typically satisfy my sugar cravings. It can, however, cause me to keep constantly slamming them back throughout the day. Love it, but I discovered artificial sweeteners are a migraine trigger for me, so I don't drink it anymore. A lot of folks fall for the naturalistic fallacy. Honestly, it just upsets my stomach and makes me bloated. I prefer sparkling water. My poison is Big Red Zero. But wow, is it expensive online. I only like drinking zero-calorie sodas to get through a 24-hour fast. Other than strictly lemon water when I refeed. I've been back and forth between keto and low-carb GF for well over a decade here, and I'm in the camp that never had issues. It saved me more times than not in the earlier days for making stupid food decisions. My clear issues have been store-bought keto treats, anything with the maltitol of the oils just rip through my intestines. But everyone is different. I've known people who had to completely cut the diet sodas out, and I'm thankful I have no response to it, other than happiness. Only problem I see with Coke Zero is that it's not Dr. Pepper Zero in all forms, including the cream soda. I'm obsessed. For me personally, I love Coke Zero. Coke Zero Cherry and especially Dr. Pepper Zero, as I've always had a horrible addiction to pop, and I've liked that I can drink the zero sugars on keto. That being said, from my own personal experience, I believe it does affect my own gut microbiome. There are many times I've craved a zero pop, had one, and immediately felt hungry after, even though I may have just eaten or didn't feel hungry at all beforehand. They're obviously not healthy but very tasty and delicious. YMMV. Personally, I ran strict keto for months a few years back. I never been much of a snacker, but I could enjoy chocolate or something sweet on Saturdays before. While on strict keto, I cut that out completely. Now that my weight and mood is in check otherwise, I just haven't started eating or drinking anything with sweeteners or sugar again. Maybe once every 3 months or so, I'll enjoy something on a Saturday. But I also enjoy not having that craving. I love Coke, especially with either burger, pizza or kebab. And then I buy a real Coke. It's so rare. And when I decide to grant me that luxury, I go for the real thing. It depends on the person. For some it's a way to stave off cravings, and for others it makes them crave sweets or junk food even more. Ultimately, I think it's mental and just varies person to person. I have them occasionally but don't see a big push or pull one way or another. But again, that's just me. I drink about 1.5 liters of water and 1 L of diet soda every day since I started keto again 1 year, and it never affected my weight loss or cravings. Same goes for my daily protein shake. Sweeteners are fine, man shrugging, medium light skin tone. For me, it's just way too sweet and I stay from any sweetener. In particular aspartame and those who are linked to cancer. But you do you. If it works for you and you feel healthy drinking it, knock yourself out. I am a whore for Coke Zero. I don't think it's a fake soda thing. I love Pepsi Zero. But like many others, I feel like Coke Zero has a weird chemical taste.